the God who stole fire for humanity. What if the greatest gift humanity ever received was actually stolen? Imagine a time when humans lived in complete darkness. No fire, no warmth, no tools, no light to push back the night. According to ancient Greek myth, there was once a god who looked down at humanity and saw something the other gods ignored. He saw suffering, and what he did next would anger the most powerful god in existence, because this god would steal something sacred from the heavens and give it to humanity. His name was Prometheus, and his punishment would become one of the most brutal stories ever told in Greek mythology. To understand this myth, we must first go back to the beginning, to a time when the gods ruled the world from the peak of Mount Olympus. The ruler of all gods was Zeus, the king of the heavens. Zeus had defeated the Titans and established the rule of the Olympian gods. But the world he ruled was still young, and humanity was weak. In many versions of the myth, Prometheus himself was responsible for shaping humanity. Unlike the other gods, who often saw humans as insignificant creatures, Prometheus believed they had potential. He believed they could grow, learn, and build something extraordinary. But there was one problem. Humans were helpless. Without fire, they were unable to cook food. They could not stay warm during cold nights. They could not forge tools or weapons. They could not build civilizations. Fire was the key to progress, and the gods had forbidden humans from ever possessing it. To the gods, fire was not just a tool. It was power. It symbolized knowledge, technology, and the ability to transform the world. Zeus believed that if humans gained fire, they might one day grow too powerful. So he kept the sacred flame hidden away on Mount Olympus. But Prometheus could not accept this. He watched as humans struggled to survive. He saw them freezing in the dark. He saw them living in fear of nature. And slowly, he began to believe that the gods were wrong. Humans deserved a chance. So Prometheus made a decision that would change everything. He would steal fire from the gods. One night, Prometheus secretly climbed Mount Olympus. This was no small risk. Olympus was the sacred home of the gods, a place no mortal or lesser being was meant to trespass. Yet Prometheus moved carefully through the divine halls. Finally, he reached the sacred fire. Using a hollow stalk of fennel, he captured a small flame. Then he carried that spark down from the heavens. And for the first time in history, humans held fire in their hands. The impact was immediate. Fire brought warmth. It brought light. It allowed humans to cook food, making it safer and easier to eat. It allowed them to forge metal tools. Civilization began to grow. Humanity had taken its first real step forward, but the gods soon discovered what had happened. And when Zeus realized Prometheus had stolen the sacred fire, his anger was beyond measure. To Zeus, this was not simply theft, it was rebellion. Prometheus had defied the king of the gods. He had broken the natural order, and worst of all, he had given humanity power that Zeus believed they should never possess. So Zeus decided to make an example of him. Prometheus was captured and dragged to a distant mountain. There, Zeus ordered the god Hephaestus, the divine blacksmith, to forge unbreakable chains. Prometheus was bound to a massive rock high in the mountains. But the punishment did not end there. Zeus wanted his suffering to last forever. Every single day, a giant eagle would descend from the sky. The eagle would tear into Prometheus and devour his liver. And every night, something terrifying would happen. Because Prometheus was immortal, his body would heal. his liver would grow back, which meant the eagle would return the next day, and the torture would begin again, day after day, year after year, century after century. Prometheus was forced to endure endless suffering, all because he gave humanity the gift of fire. Yet even in his torment, Prometheus never regretted what he had done. The myth of Prometheus carries a powerful meaning that has echoed through history. To the ancient Greeks, fire symbolized more than heat or light. It represented knowledge, innovation, progress. Prometheus became a symbol of rebellion against unjust power, a figure who was willing to suffer for the sake of humanity's future, and the story did not end there. According to later myths, a hero would eventually arrive to free Prometheus from his torment. That hero was Heracles, known to the Romans as Hercules. During his legendary journeys, Heracles encountered Prometheus chained to the mountain. Seeing the suffering god, Heracles decided to help him. With a single powerful shot from his bow, he killed the eagle that had tormented Prometheus for centuries. Prometheus was finally freed. But the myth of his sacrifice had already become legendary. Even today, thousands of years later, the story of Prometheus still resonates, because it asks a powerful question. What is the price of progress? Throughout history, many of humanity's greatest advancements have come from people who challenged authority, people who dared to question the rules, people who risked everything to give others a better future. In that sense, the myth of Prometheus is not just a story about gods. It is a story about humanity itself, the courage to challenge limits, the desire to grow, and the willingness to sacrifice for the greater good. And every time we light a fire, we are reminded of the ancient God who stole it from the heavens.